seductively putting that mic in my phone. Oh my God. Sweet Jesus. Do it again. Feed Mike. Feed Mike more. Hey Rich, she's feed Mike more.
Rich, you inspired me when you mentioned the chocolate bunny.
I saw that, man. You came out with I said, oh, we're doing this. All right, let's go, Mike. This is great. Usually, that's it. And I said backstage while you're on stage, I said, the thing that always cracks me up is how Rob sings like you're the play-by-play guy. Like during whatever happens there, you're singing like, and they're turning around. You know, you sort of just sing it out. Not this time, man. You just really, like I built you up big to Ruth, and then you're just like, and yeah, man, keep the shit out of that candy bar. You made it weird, Rob. You made it weird. Ladies and gentlemen, Ruth Connell.
How are you all? What's that? Not bad? Oh, I love you too. Hey, it's Sunday, and I don't know if you're aware, but I know you're here for me, but after me there are two lanky dudes, Jared and Johnson. You know, next. I'm just their fluffer. You laughed so much at that, I might feed you all chocolate. That was fun. I do have some stolen goods. I don't know what went wrong, but we got put up in quite a fancy hotel.
Oh no.
That's a joke. So I do have some really nice hotel toiletries to give away. I might keep the body lotion for myself, I'm just saying. This is the kind of hotel that has shower caps and the confusing shoe mitt. I think I've gone over how confusing. What is a shoe mitten for?
Your shoes?
But it doesn't have polish on it.
To buff it.
Can you not just do that with a piece of tissue paper?
You could.
Anyway, this is how fancy these are. This is how much you're going to love them. If you ask me a good question, if you don't, I will hex you. How does that sound? No pressure. Before, no. In fact, let's go, and I'll remember. I'll come back to this. Remind me to talk about this. Oh. So you're up first. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
My name is Grace. I'm born and raised in Toronto, and
Toronto, not Toronto.
we don't say
In Scotland, go Toronto. You never say the.
We don't pronounce the T.
Yeah. There's only one T in Toronto.
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 Yeah, Toronto.
Toronto.
You can do it.
Toronto.
I asked you the question about your dancing yesterday, and I'm curious.
Was it questionable?
No. I've seen some clips of your dancing, and I was yesterday asked you if you were going to do any more. But what I'm curious about is, after Supernatural, what's there for Ruth? Do you have anything in the works, or are you just going to chill and lay it out?
What I have, I'm just going to speak uncensoredly. I'm so lucky. I know I'm going to be here with you all for another year. That's amazing. And I'm really grateful to Creation for that opportunity. And I do have a really good idea for a photo op next year, but that'll be next year. Anyway, and that's really wonderful as an actor to have that security. And because I have that security, I can see if I get any auditions, if I get offered anything, I can choose something hopefully that will be really right for me. That's the ideal. I do have a new London agent who's doing really well for me, and it's just on a serious note for a second. I'm on this amazing show and it's going so well, and it still has not been easy to find representation as a woman who's not 21. I know you'll think I'm 21, but I'm not actually. So it's for the first time. It's taken a few years, and I'm surprised. I feel like there are going to be some opportunities, and I'm excited to see what they are. And the other thing to mention is that I've had some wonderful experiences working with people, with some of the writers in Supernatural, other people, from stands to people in the cast, and there are a couple of potential things that could come through from in that way, and that to me is that's wonderful. If being in the show and meeting someone in the show leads to the next thing, that's amazing. So I'm optimistic. So I don't have anything concrete to say to you, like as in I don't know, I can't say that I'm filming X, Y, and Z on Rhode Island on July 29th.
Hey, you're coming to my state?
Excuse you, madam.
Next time. It's magic.
So thank you for your question. How does a bar of Rose 31 soap sound? Oh, this is completely nothing to do with anything. But I'm glad I read this. So I watched a movie on the plane. I'm just going to talk nonsense. Called Wild Rose. Has anyone seen it?
Yes.
No.
You've seen it? You're the one person. That's amazing, and I'm giving you this. So there's a movie on the airplanes just now. You can download it. If you like Scottish things, do you? No, but do you really like Scottish things?
I like Scotch.
You really are Canadians. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I'll speak to you later.
She's British. Who has it worse?
Let's not start that. It's worse than the Canadian-American thing. Oh, what? That's a joke! So, anyway, there's a movie on the plane. I'll come do some divorce counselling in a minute. I mean reconciliation counselling. No, there's a movie on the planes and just online, and I have nothing to do with this movie. I just cried for 2 hours on the airplane yesterday. It's called Wild Rose. Do yourself a favour it's about a girl from a really rough part of Glasgow who doesn't have a lot going for her, but she loves country music. And in Scotland, everyone keeps calling it country and western music, and she's like, it's just country. Anyway, okay. You want to know about Supernatural? Thank you for your question. You reminded me to say the thing about the film I wanted to say. Thank you. Oh. Sorry, it's just. Oh, I know, thank God. 293. Hello. Hi. Okay, I'm going to try and do 2 things at once. I might not manage. No, let me just do 1 thing at a time. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
Hi, I'm Jackson.
Not you again!
Yes, it's me!
You here to cause trouble!
You cannot stop me.
I will. Oh, Force is too great with this one. You're right, I can't stop you. So, what is it you would like to know?
I'm from Calgary. Oh, and I'm Scottish too.
Oh, can I hear your Scottish accent, please?
I'm terrible at it. Okay, how about the question? What was your favorite song to sing at the concert last night?
My favorite song?
Yeah.
I'm going to go get you something nice and come back. Are you allowed chocolate?
It's good.
It's always good to check before you start giving young people chocolate and their parents are like, don't. I thought last night was a really lovely evening. I thought there were so many good songs, and it's not fair to choose one, because I think everyone had something different to offer. I found myself, when Lisa, I love the song that the 3 of them did together. And she's a bit like me, and we're like nervous about coming on, and because she did that little bit beforehand, when she came to doing her song, she was so in the pocket, we say. I spontaneously ran round. Like, I became a fan. I was just like, what? So for me, that was a moment that I really liked. What did you like?
What did I like about the concert?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was a good song. Hallelujah. I like everyone.
Oh, Hallelujah was lovely. You were so good, y'all. That's a piece of chocolate for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
I really loved Hallelujah too. He's doing fabulous. I'm going to do this. Is that okay? Stay on these. Yeah. How are y'all doing? Hi, Ed. Hi. Oh, there's so many of you. It's almost like Misha doesn't have a photo op right now. Is that true? Nobody else has a photo op, so you're all here. Hi. Hi. Oh, it's nice to see some young men in the audience too. Hi, hi, hi. Nice to see you. Hi. Hi. Hi, are you behaving yourself right up at the back? I hope not. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? Oh, I'm just getting my exercise in, getting my steps in. How are you all doing up the back here? Hi, Red. Why are you not sitting down? What's going on? Someone's in their seat. Oh no, I'll not call them out. Which seat number is it? I'm kidding. Hi, Daphne. Hi. Hi, big love this one. Dean. Yeah! Hi, Dean. You're so cute. I'm going to steal you. Hi. It's so nice to see all your faces. Oh, I love you too. Hi. How you doing? Hi. Oh, that's a nice picture of Johnson. Aww. Who did this? Oh, Macy did this. And yeah, this is so good. Hi. Oh, I love you too. It's so nice to be here. Hi. Right, I'm going to do the random acts thing while I remember. So distractible. It's almost like I didn't have enough sleep and too much whiskey.
Yes.
So, thank you for your generosity, Toronto. So far, Shauna and Ruby at the Random Acts table have counted up nearly 1,000 items donated. Thank you to you. He drew me a little picture of me in a napkin. I can tell because it's got orange hair. There are many things you can drop off. There's still a few hours. The main thing that they would like more of, if you ever have a chance to pop out for a few minutes, is baby food. That's the one thing they would like a bit more of. But other than that, it's been amazing, and thank you so much. Hey, Angel, look at me. I'm remembering everything so far. I'm remembering everything I'm supposed to do. It's good. Oh yeah, questions. Hi. What's your name? Where are you from? Which one?
I asked a question yesterday too, so I'm Alison.
So you're greedy. Oh, you're so Canadian! That was me being cheeky. I was being really Scottish. It's a sign of affection. I'm ribbing her. I'm scared to be cheeky now. Okay, you're not greedy. You're just tenacious. Is that polite enough? Okay.
My question is, so when Rowena has sort of longer sequences of Latin to say, like for spells or anything, were there any tricks that you had to use? Like, did you find that really difficult, or did it come really easy for you?
It's hard work. In an episode not next week, the one after, I think, I have a few different spells. That's not a spoiler, is it? Won't go for more about. How do you feel about shower caps? Awesome, I'm happy about that. So, sometimes, I'll talk about past episodes, so I just lower my own heart rate. There was one episode I had to speak Polish, African, Latin, Irish, and just my normal Scottish. So it's hard. It was hard. We get little audio files. It's quite funny. It's this Latin scholar, this man, And like, I remember the African spell, particularly him saying Umbatu, like, and I'm like, I can't go on, you know, I have to find my own way of saying it. So we have it written down. I always ask for the translation. I try and work it out, but I always ask for the translation so I know exactly what I am saying in English. I can listen to the recording, and for me, it's a bit like the singing. I just have to, it's repetition. I just have to do it over and over and over again, and especially with the pressure of being on set and having to do blocking and avoid Jared or whatever else is going on. You can't afford to have to think of the words. They have to be ingrained, especially when it is another language or something else. So recently, Charles, who directed a couple of your favourite episodes, he was directing an episode that we were doing, and he had the bright idea of having Jensen, Jared, Misha, I was going to say Jack, but Alex and me all standing in a circle facing each other. And if you can imagine, that's 5 people's coverage, that's 10, like that's over everybody, that's a lot of coverage. And by the time it came to doing like Misha's coverage, and I think you saw my behind the scenes, again it's not a spoiler, I think he only had like 1 line in that episode, like in that bit of the episode. I did a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff with him about it. So the footage is on him, so it's his chance to say his 1 line, and my feeder line to it is a piece of Latin, and I'd said it so many times by this point, my brain did that thing where it didn't make any sense anymore, and rather than say the Latin word which began with a V, I said vulva. And I was just, but me being a theatre person, I just styled my way through it, I kept going and I said the line after it, and all you heard beside me was, rather than Misha's line, all you heard was Jared say, "What was that, Rowena?" And Jensen say, "Yes, say that again, Rowena, what was that? Vulva, what? And he did not let me get away with it. And for the first time in 5 years, I broke. We say we corpse, but I broke. I was weeping with laughter. I started to sweat because I was panicking because I couldn't stop laughing. They brought fans out. They gave me all of Jared's fans to cool me down. I'm going through menopause all in these 5 minutes. I can't remember what your question was, but I think I answered it.
No, that was that.
Okay, it's hard. Thank you for your question. Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Kat.
Say that again.
My name's Kat.
Kat.
Yes. First, I just wanted to say that you sung beautifully last night. You're absolutely amazing.
I got off to like a slightly flat start. Like I literally couldn't hear my note. I did. But it was okay. Nobody died. Well, just a little bit of my soul, but honestly, I was like, no, dig in. And Mike was hitting the key, ding, 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 like to help me. And after that, it was okay.
It was beautiful.
Oh, you're so
I had
nice.
a friend outside, and as soon as you started singing, she texted me. She's like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "It's Ruth. She's amazing." She's like, "Oh my God, why is everyone so good?"
It's daunting. It's daunting. Everyone's so good.
So my question for you, on Friday, Lisa, Brianna, and Kim had their panel, and they were described as the goddess of peace, the goddess of joy, and the goddess of love, respectively. I was just wondering, if you were at that panel, what goddess would you be described as, and why?
What do you think? Did you say? I thought I was. I could take mischief. It was another word that Mark Shepard used to call me that I would.
I could see mischief, because whenever I describe you to someone, I'm like, she's like this pixie. She's kind of mischievous, but she's also super sweet and gentle at the same time. So I could see mischievous, like you just kind of, like a good kind, like just up to like little tricks to make people laugh and have fun.
I'll take it. Thanks very much. And thanks for answering your own question. Because I don't think I could have. I'm going to find you something really nice in my bag of tricks. Hold on, stay there. See how mischievous a thing I can find. Okay, so it is a sanitary bag. You did say mischievous. I'm also very practical.
I like it.
And sensible and wise. So, the goddess of wisdom and mischief
It's perfect.
is anointing you with this high-class sac hygienique.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question. Hello, hello.
Hello, Ruth. Didn't ask for smartphone from.
Don't throw your phone away. That's expensive. Sorry, darling.
No, it's Martha, but I wanted to say I come from Ashby Zeus because normally I just say England, but I wanted to get it out there once. And my question is, in your expert opinion, what's actually the difference between plaid and tartan?
God. I mean, I've spent sleepless nights. Like, really, really. I think the thing is with plaid, seems to be shirts that men wear in Supernatural. Like, I think that's what plaid is. Like, tartan is the pattern. This comes from Scotland. That amplifies your family heritage. Plaid means the things that men wear in Supernatural, and sometimes the women too. Is that right?
Yes.
Dictionary definition. How do you like shampoo? Do you like it? For your flowing tresses? Rose 31. This shall be your gift. Thank you for your question. Is there a dictionary definition of the difference between plaid and tartan?
I don't think so. I think possibly plaid is in cotton and tartan is in wool.
I think plaid. No, what I think it is plaid is what everybody stole from Scotland.
Probably.
Yeah. So tartan is the original and is correct and right. You're welcome. And plaid is either worn in Supernatural or stolen from Scotland. Or it might just be cotton material rather than wool. Okay. I'm glad we're really like whittling this down and defining it.
Hi. I just wanted to ask, what's your favorite moment from set? Like,
What's my favorite
memory from set? Like, the best thing that's happened to you on set?
What's your name?
Val,
Val, where are you from?
Venezuela.
Venezuela. Wow. Did you travel here for this or you live here?
Oh, I live here now.
That's awesome. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Wow. My favorite moment from set. The moment that I described earlier where I was sweating with laughter. It's not often you see I was sweating with laughter. That's so gross. Jared said afterwards, he was like, it's taken us 5 years, 6 seasons, but we've finally broken Ruthie. There are so many. I'm just trying to find something nice for you, darling. Nice shower gel. Yeah. There'd be so many. Like, honestly, and I really, everyone says this, and it's not lip service. Look, we have this amazing Canadian crew, and I can't even, like, one of my friends recently said to me, just to warn you, it's not going to be like this in other sets, because this is my first American TV show. And it's just not. Like, there are so many lovely moments where the person doing my makeup says something supportive in my ear just before I go to do a shot, because she can tell I need to hear something, or Jensen like does this so that they can use the shot because you're not standing in your spot properly. Or there's so many. It's hard to choose. One that pops to mind though was in the Werther project. I had to squeeze Jared's arm for ages. It's supposed to be squeezing the blood out of it. And I accidentally called him Jensen, and he's like, no, he's musclier than I am. And I thought that was such a cute way to get around a new actress being embarrassed and saying the wrong J. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
How are y'all doing? get down, get down.
Are you singing Jungle Boogie?
Should we do something? I'm going to get to. Should we do something for when the band come back out?
Yes, what can we do?
Okay, so when the band come back out, oh dear, what's a really Toronto thing to say? Hey, hey, like that.
A.
H. A.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
E-H. A.
Just like
A.
E-H.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So
H.
if I go like this,
A.
but you have to do something with your hands that's not rational. Yeah, do that. More.
Jazz hands.
Higher, faster. That's it.
Jazz hands.
Okay, so put them down. Shh, silence. Shh. And then when I do it as loud as possible and as wavy as possible, you ready? I didn't do it. There's always one. Ready? Ready? Paying attention? Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Hopefully I'll remember. Hello. What's your name? Where are you from?
Too many words.
My name is Holland, and I'm from New York, not New York City. And my question is,
Did you say your name was Holland?
Oh my
yes,
That's cool.
I was actually named after the country.
Yeah, that's cool.
My question is, has there been any unexplainable things that have happened on set?
Oh, I know what you mean. It's weird because there was. It was explainable, but it's actually a set. Not. It doesn't necessarily feel that spooky. Thank God, because I find it really hard to watch horror and gore, and I actually find it hard. I find it easy to do the stuff in Supernatural. I find it hard to watch some of it. So I wouldn't do well if it did seem like that in reality. One time when Jensen was directing me, I remember I was doing Latin incantation, and we were in this big warehouse. It was the bit where I kind of zap 3 witches and make them disappear. I'm wearing a red dress. And there was these big bins, these big metal bins around the set, and they were set on fire each time before each take. It was for atmosphere and background. And as I started to do my Latin incantation, the bins started to go. And Jensen was like, "Okay, cut, Ruth, if you wouldn't mind not actually summoning the devil." That would be awesome. I think it was to do with the oil in the drum, you know, I think it was probably explainable. But I really, there was another time there was one explainable thing which I will tell you, because I am tuned to the moon, and I am going to part with my shoe mitt for you. So one time, I live quite near Kim Rhodes, I can see her house from my window, and deliberately was for that house.
Are you stalking her?
And one time in the middle of the night, my front doorbell went bing bong, and then Alexa said something and the lights flickered. And I was like, holy fucking balls. And I got up, and my flatmate Owain got up, and he was like, what's going on? And we're like, oh my God. So then Kim, being my supernatural sister, and I mean that in every way, we're totally tuned to psychic everything, you know. I said to Kim, guess what? I explained what happened, and she was like, yeah, your power went off and came back on. So I was not haunted, that I knew of. Do you have any?
Actually, last night, our hotel room lights have been flickering all night.
It's bad wiring. It's faulty wiring. or a sinister poltergeist. One of the two. I grew up in a farm. Well, I went really Scottish there. My house is over 300 years old. It's almost as old as Rowena. And the walls are very, very thick, they're made of stone. The window ledges are so wide, I used to tap dance on them, they were my little stages. And my neighbour, one neighbour, he was too scared to walk home on his own. I just grew up in that kind of environment, and sometimes when I was really little, I would go through to the kitchen and I'd be like, "Yes, Mum," and she'd be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "You shouted my name," and she'd be like, "No, I didn't." And I used to hear Ruth, Ruth, and that's just because I'm tuned to the moon. Or it's my imagination, I don't know.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm from Rochester, New York.
Oh, lovely. Love your hair.
Thank you. I love yours too. All right, so Rowena, your character, did not get to say goodbye to her beloved son Fergus.
No.
And she did try to bring him back. Sadly, that did not happen.
I tried really hard.
So if Rowena could get to say goodbye to Fergus, what would she say?
I was wrong about the pigs. I should have asked for 7. Shampoo for your lovely hair. Oh no, conditioner. I need to get conditioner. Conditioner. It's a really, because that's the thing. I was like, Rowena would have brought him back, and then what? Like how long? It's like when you've got two snakes that don't trust each other. How do you ever find a healthy relationship? So maybe if he did come back just to say goodbye, I would say, "I'm sorry, I wasn't a better mum. I did love you. I just couldn't admit it to myself. But don't tell anyone." Something like that. Hello.
Hi. So my name is Saffron and I'm from Mississauga and
Where? What?
Mississauga.
Where's that?
It's like western.
Say it again.
It's like near this area.
No, I just love the name. I want to hear the name again.
Saffron,
And Saffron from
Mississauga.
Mississauga. Such a cool name. I've never heard it before. That's awesome.
So as we all know, you are very beautiful and talented. So,
Wow.
So my question is, do you have any tips on skincare?
Wash your face. Do what your parents tell you to do, whoever they are. No, drink whiskey. Don't sleep. Be neurotic. Be riddled with anxiety and occasionally put cream on that you get free at gifting suites. I can make something up. I drink. I think drinking. Oh yeah, that's right. This is my small bottle of water that I carry with me. I think drinking a lot of water is really important for your skin. I use like Dove soap. It's like really cheap, and I use the Body Shop.
Yeah, I use that too.
Yeah, because there's like factor 15 in it, which is something. I sometimes think simple dimple, and be happy inside.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Oh, let me see your nails. Oh, it's nice. Hello, Red. Oh, hello.
Hi. So I was just wanted to ask, so when your character was kind of introduced to the show, she was kind of like the big, bad, powerful kind of witch that, had worked with Lucifer at one point, and then as the show kind of goes on, she becomes sort of like the helpful, friend of Sam and Dean, and I was just wondering, which version do you like to play more? The sort of like...
I love your question. Because we talk for ages now about it. Would you prefer a shower cap or a sanitary bag? Come on, you've got to choose. Devil's choice.
Surprise me.
Oh dear.
That's Sophie's choice for
You asked for it.
her plastic bag.
That's okay. going to be nice, because I think you should protect your hair colour by using a shower cap. I feel like I'm being the practical fairy now again. I was talking about this morning in my meet and greet. Thank you. Thanks for your question. So at the beginning, Eugenie and Brad, I think, wrote some of my first episodes, and there was a lot of, and I really didn't use this word before the fandom, BF before fandom, AF after fandom, not as fuck as after fandom. Thirsty. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
Straight
That
vodka.
tequila's strong.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, Rowena, to me, it was more of the presentation of Rowena, and I think I was like barely annoying, like deliberately annoying. Like she's like, she's not afraid of being annoying, and a certain level of airs and graces, especially in front of her son, who was the king of hell, which was the one good piece of news that she got, really. Her offspring, her progeny, had actually done something, was doing something with his life. And I love, though, that there has been this evolution with the character actually going through stuff, and it has affected her. And the writers like Steve Yockey and Bob Behrens and Meredith, they took that on board and have really given her a journey through the loss of her son, through being killed by Lucifer, through being burnt, through connecting with Sam, through working with Dean and Castiel, and now this fondness with Jack. Like what wonderful rolling out. And it honestly just gets better this season. I'm so lucky. They really are honouring this woman's arc, and I'm so privileged to have been a part of it and to have filmed what I have been filming. I couldn't have asked for anything better for Rowena. It's amazing. I'm looking forward to you seeing it. Thank you for your question. How are you all doing? Are you good? How long till Jansen and Judith come on? How long? Don't know.
Justin and Jaden.
Okay, let's make them kind. Hello.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm from Whitby, and my question is, what's your favorite spell you've cast for the whole season?
Okay, the only one I ever remember is a bee because it's short.
What's your favorite spell that you've had to cast?
Yeah, the only one I remember is a bee because it's short. So no, in all seriousness, when I say a bee and the person flies across the room, that's really fun to do in real life. People always don't do it. Like a bee, like you didn't, but like you kind of wanted to a little bit, right? So it's magic that really does work in real life. No. It's honestly the only spell I remember. Do you remember any spells? Tell me. I'm kidding. I used that one. Oh. In all seriousness, no, I'm going to give you a little gift before I jangle off the stage.
Really?
In all seriousness, do you like shampoo? Here's something. Shampoo is good for you. In all seriousness, do you remember I think it was Funeralia, when Rowena's on the ground and she's like she's doing... just knows I'm going to get when Rowena's doing the unbinding and the purple for the first time, that incantation is actually something like I should just use my real life. It was so beautifully written in the Latin. And it meant basically, unbind my voice, tie me to nature and let me release all my power onto you. How does that sound? Hi guys!
By power she means stolen bath products.
Exactly. And chocolate.
How was it? Ladies and gentlemen, Ruth Connell!
She's a black magic woman. Yeah, she's a black magic woman. Gracias.